So I believe it was a Monday morning, early shift, normal day. Went out single crewed as normal on a day shift, and then got called to a simple shoplifting job in Gosport. Went and spoke with a shopkeeper who informed me that a theft had taken place, and that she'd seen a male run into a house opposite. She'd like me to go and speak to him. I went over to the house. Went inside, spoke with the occupants inside, including the male that was described to me that was involved in the theft. Immediately, I'd already noticed that I was aware of him from an outstanding job from the morning, and I made some calls to the control room with regards to this male, who confirmed that he was wanted for a domestic assault. Unfortunately, that went out on air, which he heard. Not liking this, a fight took place. He'd pushed me, causing me to fall back into the property, and he ran out the back door. I made chase, followed him out into the garden. He jumped on top of the shed at the end of the garden, and an altercation took place where I'd grabbed his ankle to try and pull him down off the shed. He fought with me. I still had my cuffs in my hand, and unfortunately he took the opportunity to rip these from my hand and throw them at me, which landed in my face and caused my two front teeth to smash effectively, and then with the pain of that and the shock of that, he made off garden hopping. I mean, I was in shock. I felt extremely embarrassed. I was by myself, and I actually didn't know what to do. I actually carried on trying to look for him while I had extra units coming to me. I was crying. I was in distress. I'd lost my teeth. I had cuts and bruises all over me. It took about 4.5 minutes for the next unit to get to me. However, this felt much, much longer to me. I was alone, not really knowing what to do. Knowing that I had a male outstanding, I was in pain, I'd lost my two front teeth, and I wasn't sure of what was happening in the house, what his friends might do. So a long period of time before anyone got to me. Eventually, when they did, the first unit came to me, made sure that I was okay, and just asked me a number of questions, obviously with regards to where he'd gone and what he was wearing, until the next units could come and detain him. And we eventually did find him, and he was detained. So immediately after the arrest and after it had died down, I was taken immediately to get some medical treatment. That was the primary thing to do. And then I had calls from Gold Command, Silver Command that day to make sure that I was okay. And from my sergeant, and putting everything in place so that I didn't have to worry about anything, that the investigation was going ahead and that I just needed to take care of myself at that time. The support from the force continued actually when I went home. I went home once I'd completed my statements, so that I could get away and I could just take in the events of the day. I had the bosses call me at home to show their support, to see that if I wanted anything that it was available to me. I had a meeting with the inspector with regards to how I wanted to proceed. I wasn't quite ready to go out by myself. In fact, I was scared, if I'm totally honest. I was scared to go out by myself. I still had all those feelings that I hadn't done the right thing, I could have done something better. So I was put double crewed until I felt actually that I could go out by myself, or that my confidence was up there again. I also had tremendous support from the Hampshire Police Federation. They were in touch with me the same day the assault happened, to make sure that I was able to access the right people, the right dentists, and that to make sure that I was getting the treatment and the support that I needed at that time. My message to the likes of the Crown Prosecution Service would be that we need to be treated like victims, like members of the public, to show that we do matter and that an assault on us is not acceptable. I feel I've been very lucky with the support that I received from my force. However, I know this hasn't been the case in the past or in other regions, so my message to the service would be that assaults on police should be taken seriously.